Hello boys and girls, we're gonna work with our greeting cards today. Remember, we are collecting greeting cards, any kind of greeting cards, for spring, for Christmas, for birthdays. So we could cut them off and then trace them. Also, I'm gonna show you like this box, we're gonna trace it. I'm gonna show you, give you different examples of what you could trace that you have at home. Um, Toys or stuff that you could just trace so you could cut them. Um, this box is a square, really easy. You could just trace it. I have a different box right here. It's a different shape. So go ahead and trace that one. Anything that you could hold and move your pencil around on your paper, you could go ahead and trace. See if we, I just did it on a paper, but I'm gonna do it now on a greeting card because that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna trace shapes on your greeting card so then we could cut it and decorate our picture. So this is a different shape. Let's trace it. You could always save the corners if you want to make squares or triangles. I don't like to waste much of the greeting card. I like to use them as much as possible. So I try to use the edges all the way. See right there? That's what I did. You could use the trace. You could use your pencil to trace it. You have the tic-tac box. I don't know if you might have one at home, but that's the shape that you could use also. Remember, I tried to give you examples of things that you could have at home, because I really don't want you to go out and buy stuff. Mom and dad, they don't need to do that. You guys just could have things at home that you could use. I happen to have different kind of shapes at home for my lessons, but there's other stuff like toys that you could have, like this one right here. It's kind of like the same shape of the first one we did, but I put on the paper flat instead of vertical. And I tried to trace everything on the shapes from the back of the card. I'm gonna give you some examples. I found things at home, actually toys from my kids. I'm not sure what this is, but you could trace that one if you have something like this. This is made of foam. Also, this is just a circle, and it does have, is that the Play-Doh box. You could have trace the top and trace the bottom, so you have different size circles. This is an airplane. You could always hold it from the top and go all the way around it. This is a can opener. It's the shape of a panda bear. And these will be really easy. I'm sure you have a lot of this, many of these at home. They're sand toys, and they're easy to trace because they're big. You could have those. One thing that you have to remember, mom, dad, the more details it has, the harder it is to cut. This one is an hexagon. I have a lantern, the bottle, the circles. You could cut that too. And these ones, let's see, that's another shape. That's from a puzzle. This one, actually, I use it to make jellos at home. And it does have a shape, so you could always trace that. These are really easy, and I'm sure you have them at home. They're puzzle pieces. But just remember again, the more details it does have, the harder it's going to be for you or your child to cut. So puzzle pieces are really good to trace. If you don't want to cut them, you don't have to, but remember, we're doing cutouts to decorate our picture right now. So you could just use a freehand cutting. You just make circles or ovals or triangles or squares on the picture if you don't have anything to trace with. I'm gonna show you how to do some tracing right now. Let me show you this right here. You might have this toy at home. A lot of people have, they're made from Tupperware, I think. But these are puzzles also. And it does have shapes. The shapes are a good size that your kid could use, your child could use. Boys and girls, those puzzle pieces are really easy for you to trace, okay? What about this kind of puzzle? It does have the grip on top, the wooden part on top, so you could see where your hand is going when you're tracing. So it does have a big a point to press, or a small one, it doesn't matter. If you could see where your hand is going, where your pencil is going, is better. So I'm gonna show you these other ones. These are already pieces that I cut off of a greeting card. I have a snowman, I have leaves, I have a turkey. They were on the greeting cards and I cut it off. They were like the 3D kind of cards, so I cut them off. I do have an apple. These ones are used to decorate my boards when I do lessons. And this is people. But remember, the harder the details, the more difficult it's gonna be for you to cut off. Boys and girls, you should try to trace even shapes without details, or with details. Either way, try to do both so you have your eye-hand coordination. So all those, we're gonna put it on the side. We're not gonna use them. I already have my box with bunch of cutouts, and I'm gonna show you. See the greeting cards? I have them, and I just cut shapes. It doesn't matter the writing or the shape of the color or the picture on it. I just cut pieces of it. See, that one doesn't have a shape. It doesn't have a picture. It just have like the flames, kind of like the sun. So I could use that to decorate the picture. I have these kind of shapes. These are the ones that I use for my lessons, for my Spanish lessons. And see, I could just show you. I just cut them like that. These are small pieces, so I have big pieces, smaller pieces, all sizes. So if you have shapes like that, go ahead and use them. Those belong to puzzle. So the greeting cards, we already traced that one. Coins are really good because they're different size circles. You could use it too. Or you could use it to press it on your paper too. Coins are a good idea to press it on your paper. So we're gonna do some tracing right now. Let's do this one. The picture is not so pretty, but the whole card has color. So we're just gonna get a shape. Let's do triangles. Make sure that you use the edges. Remember, you're gonna need scissors, you're gonna need a pen, a pencil, your ruler. I have my pen, it's just easier for me to see. You could use pencil if you think you might have to erase and fix it again, which you don't have to. If you're doing it from the back of your card, doesn't matter. I try to use as much as possible on the card, so I'm putting the triangles very close to each other so I won't waste the card. I use almost everything on the card, every little piece. So right there, one thing that you could use, that you could do, is cut them in strips, like thick strips, so your child could easily cut it, but if not, you could just leave the whole card. See, this one is our pentagon. Let's cut it, and that way I'm doing a corner in there, so my corner is gonna be a triangle right there. I'm saving already, I'm thinking ahead. See, you got two, and you kind of like can see what the picture on the other side look like. Now we have a square on the very edge, so that way you only have to cut 3 sides instead of 4. And I try to use, like I said, the whole card, okay? You can use every little piece on the card. Even if it's plain, go ahead and use it. If it does have writing, still go ahead and use it because you're cutting pieces of it. So it doesn't matter the writing. Let's use the scissors. Remember, if you're using scissors, mom, dad, make sure that you supervise your child. Boys, girls, make sure that mom and dad give you scissors that you are allowed to use. Here I'm gonna cut like the card in like one big piece, so that'll be easier for your child to cut. Right there. See, those are 3 pieces. I cut the card in 3 pieces. It's just easier for your child. And right there you got 1 square and now 1 rectangle. There you go. Now you're cutting one side of the pentagon. Now you have a triangle. Have another triangle, and it does have writing on it, so it doesn't really matter, because the writing, if you cut pieces here and there, it doesn't really make sense. And if the writing is with pretty color or pretty writing, it's just, you know, it's just better decoration for your shape. See, that one right there just happens to have a picture on it. That's our pentagon, and out of that piece that I cut out of the pentagon, now we have another triangle, and we have this other piece. It does have writing on one side and then picture on the bottom. Now we're gonna cut our triangles. So for the triangles, for all the shapes, it doesn't matter if your shape doesn't have perfect angles. Don't worry about it, boys and girls. You don't have to cut the perfect shapes because we're just gonna use it to decorate a picture. So it could be sharp corners. And this one, it could be a trapezius right there. We don't need to cut it. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna show you how to cut these flowers. These cards are like 3D cards. I'll show you. See, the flowers are kind of like pop out. You could take them off and use them individually like single, or you could use the whole piece and do the 3D decoration on your picture. This is another one. This one has glitter also, and it does have pearls on it. So I'm gonna show you how to cut those, how you could cut those without messing up the detail, the 3D detail on the card. Boys and girls, ask mom and dad what you could use to trace, okay? Don't just grab anything from home. Just make sure that you ask mom and dad. This one we're gonna trace, and we're gonna trace from the front on this one just because we don't want to damage the picture. We don't want to mess up the picture and cut part of it. So that's why we're doing it on the front. and I using pencil, so I could always, if I want to save some of the writing, I could always erase the pencil. See, that one has pretty stuff on it, so I'm saving it. I save every part of it. And remember, don't worry if there is some writing on the part that you are cutting, okay? There's nothing on the back, but on the front, that's where the letters and the pictures are, so just follow the lines of your tracing. Can you see? The writing is there. We don't really care about the writing, but the flower looks pretty in there, so we cut that off. And now we're gonna do this other one, and we're gonna try to save, because the whole card has glitter and it has really pretty flowers on it. So we are gonna do this one right here on the very corner. Since on this side the picture really doesn't really matter on that card, on that corner, we could trace our star. This star, make sure that you press it really good. Remember, the more details the tracing, the harder it's gonna be to cut. So now for this one, you don't have to cut a perfect star. Again, the corners, they don't have to be perfect. They don't have to be sharp with perfect angles. You could just cut them just so it will look like a star, but it doesn't have to be perfect corners. We just want to make sure that the other side of it looks pretty on a different shape. Can you see? That's my star, and it has pretty colors, glitter, and not the flower, but it does have a shape. It's a star, and all those little corners excuse me, all those little corners, shave them too. Okay, save them all. See how I save every little corner, the borders also, so I could decorate my picture. So you could do your picture decorating it with words or with shapes. Make sure that if you have a cardboard at home, you save it also, so the picture will be it won't be all flimsy and folding. The letters, that's what I cut for that picture. I put all kinds of letters, so that's what it is. That's what we're doing. Make sure that you save all your greeting cards. This is what we're working on. The next project is gonna be that, and this is the lesson 1 and lesson 2 for you to know how to do the cutting, the tracing, and that's what we're gonna do. Save all of them. See all these right here. I shape the shapes of it doesn't matter. The picture of it, it doesn't matter either. You could always figure it out after you cut them all off. Let's see, I'm gonna show you how to do this next time on the next lesson, so you could save your greeting cards that have some kind of a texture on it, that do have they're kind of like bumpy. That's what I will let you know. That's what I will tell you. Use pencil, crayons. For the next lesson, you're gonna use your crayons. You're gonna use your greeting cards. You're gonna hold your crayons with your fingers, horizontal, not vertical, like we do the pencil, so you could do that. I'll show you how to do it on the next lesson. Okay, thank you so much, boys and girls. Make sure that you save all your cutouts, and we'll do our tracing next time. Thank you. Bye bye.